And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Cory Sanden, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Cory Sanden.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Wayne Kotow with Cory Sanden, and we're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup, right next to Fisherman's Landing in Point Loma. Pete and Ricky are out on needed vacation time. The backups are running the show today. We're going to have a great show today with Dr. Craig Shuman and Eric Kory from CDFW, along with Ken Franke from Sport Fishing Association of California. We're going to be talking haul fishing regulations and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Take a closer look at the Ford Bronco and Bronco Sport. You'll see adventure, discovery, and even a little mud. These 4x4s provide the muscle, tech, and durability to go anywhere. Get your ideal combination of power and capability to handle whatever comes your way with the GOAT modes. That's goes over any terrain. It's time to see Ford in a new light. New inventory has arrived. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer to take a test drive today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Introducing new Power Pro Max 8 microfilament braided fishing line. It's built for offshore anglers seeking smooth casting and control. Power Pro Max 8 features an 8-carrier Spectra HT construction that cuts through current with ease for precise vertical jigging with a 25% thinner diameter. Available in white and metered 4-color for trolling spread control and precise jigging depths. It's stronger, smoother, and thinner. Power Pro Max 8 is now available at your tackle retailer.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And I'm not only stoked about having Wayne captain of the ship and running the show, and just stoked to be in here, but having the guest we do today, Wayne, is unprecedented, huge.
Absolutely. This is going to be a really good show, everybody. So we got some really, really powerful, knowledgeable people in the show. Dr. Craig Shuman is remote on the phone. We have a picture here. If you're on YouTube and Facebook Live, we got his headshot right here. Hey, Craig, are you out there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, welcome aboard, buddy. Good to hear from you. And then we also have Eric Kory, Assistant Chief,
yeah.
Marine Enforcement Division here in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
And the president of SAC, Ken Franke.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good show. Hey, one thing really quick. Good luck to everybody doing War Heroes on the Water. They just got together last night, and they're doing their parade down in Newport tonight, 5 p.m. If you want to go down and see 60 beautiful boats and 126 wounded veterans go out, get out there and you can watch that parade go by. It'll be a lot of beautiful, shiny boats. And hey, in the studio, we're going to talk about everything. Ken Franke, right off the bat, the last couple of weeks, the thing has come up about visas and FMMs. You got to help us out. What is the rules on FMMs and visas going into Baja now?
Yeah, great question. And it sounds like there's some misinformation flying around. A visa is something where you're going to permanently go stay somewhere. You want to stay there for a period of time. Not to be confused with an FMM, which is what we're using when we go fishing down in Mexico. FMM is a separate deal. It is still required. A visa is something completely different, and they're not to be merged. So if you're on a sport fishing trip or what have you, and you're just going to be briefly in and out of Mexico, FMM is what you're going to get. And yes, you still get them.
Yeah, for any of us that actually go across the border, we've been actually filling out that paperwork. You go across the border, you stop if you're going for multiple days. It's that one piece of paper that you hand in across the border, and they collect it on the way back. That's the form. That's an FMM.
That's
right?
it.
It tells you that you're going
That's it.
in, how long you're staying, and you turn it in coming back. You go across the CBX, it's the same thing. It's that little form you get on the airplane.
And the consulate just said the same thing.
Yeah.
So
So that's all good.
Yep.
So
Yeah, simple enough, right? I mean, no more questions asked. Simple.
No. I will say we are going to be going to Mexico City again to talk to them about improving the process to obtain them, but that's a work in progress.
yeah, no problem.
And that's why we have you. I mean, that's why you're president of SAC, man, taking care of the fleet, taking care of not only a sport fishing fleet, but sport fishing enthusiasts with private boats.
We want to make it easy for people to go sport fishing. That's it.
And make it easy for us to enjoy a foreign country. You know,
Yep.
I mean, that's
Relations are good right now. Let's keep it that way.
please.
Absolutely. So for everybody that goes across on a sport boat and are coming back, let's refresh everybody's knowledge on what is necessary to come back over the border with our fish. Mr. Eric Cord.
Sure. Always a good question. Well, first, for those of you that may not know me, I'm the assistant chief for our Marine Enforcement District for the California Fish and Wildlife Marine Enforcement District. And I oversee about 50 officers and 7 patrol boats, 8 squads. And we do all of the sort of coastal enforcement, offshore enforcement. Obviously, with the patrol boats here, we're mostly focused out at the islands and offshore fishing. So those officers that board you at sea, those are the people that are Marine Enforcement District. And I have the pleasure of managing and overseeing and interacting with those officers, and they work really hard and do a good job, and they're really enthusiastic about what they do. But for this particular question, declaration for entry form. So anytime you go fishing down in Mexico or Oregon, or if you're coming in from out of state, same with hunting, you have to fill out it's our declaration for entry form. If you Google that California declaration for entry form, it'll pop you up to our website. The website is actually really easy to work through. You can either download and print the form prior to your trip and have it filled out when you come back. You want to have it filled out prior to entry into the state, and basically just fill out, follow the directions on the form, make sure everything that you've taken out of state is on that form. So if you're coming back from Mexico, all of your fish that are from Mexico go on the form, and you need to have it filled out prior to entry into the state, which is state waters. So when you're 3 miles out, you want to have that form done. And on if you have a smartphone available and you have a Starlink or Wi-Fi access on your phone, you can fill out the form online on your phone, or like I said, you can print it up ahead of time and have it ready to go. And as long as you have that form and your all your licenses and permits from Mexico, as long as you've taken the fish legally in Mexico, it's legal to import back into California. Now there are some importation exceptions. Anything that is illegal to take or to possess in California can't be imported back into California. So things like
Cow cod.
Yeah, sure. Or undersized fish. If there's no size limits in Mexico, but there are size limits here, so you have to you have to bring back legal size fish into California. So just make sure you're following the regs for California for stuff that you bring back. Now, that doesn't include closed seasons. It's just fish that are illegal to possess in and of itself, either if you can't take it at all or there's a minimum size. Now, for rockfish, when the rockfish is closed here in Southern California, as it will be on January 1st through the end of March, you can go fish rockfish down in Mexico following Mexican size limits, and then import that back into California, provided you have that form and you have your Mexican license.
I mean, we're so fortunate living in Southern California, San Diego specific, right? I mean,
Yes.
We can launch our 18 to 21 foot boat and go on a sport boat and enjoy the rockfish fishery just south of the border, man. We're pretty darn fortunate to be able to do that.
Yeah, one thing for the anglers, between Craig Shuman and Eric Cord, anytime people call our office or any people out there that have any questions, the department is a great resource. They have a lot of satellite offices, happy to answer questions I call Eric and Craig regularly with, okay, what about this one? But they are super approachable, and yeah, they've been good partners for a long time.
And one thing I can say, I know a handful, a half a dozen officers or wardens, as we want to call them, Eric Ward being one of them, and they are all, every single individual I know, they're enthusiasts of the resource. They love fishing. They love diving, freshwater fishing, hunting.
They're all outdoorsmen.
Yes,
Yeah.
period, right? And so they don't get into it because they want to be a cop, per se, right? I mean, they don't want to be, I don't know how to say that properly, but they get into it because they love the resource. They love being outdoors, and
the same thing that we talk about. It's about responsible and sustainable outdoor recreation.
Yes.
And they're there to help enforce that part of what we have.
They enjoy what we're enjoying.
Absolutely. That we all have a hunting and fishing background, and I would encourage anyone who has that passion for hunting or fishing, or even if you just have a passion for being outdoors. We are hiring every year. We have an academy every year. It has been a wonderful career for me. I've been on 28 years. I wouldn't do anything different. I'm a diver, surfer, spear fisherman, and to me, it's the dream job. And having the wonderful opportunity of being on a patrol boat for 23 years, is absolutely, the most fun I could think of. I wouldn't do anything else. And sometimes I would be out there and, anchored at San Clemente Island and watching the sun come up, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm getting paid to do this job.
Right. So. Yeah, it's kind of cool. How does one, I mean, if we have a young individual or somebody listening that wants to even investigate that, where do they go? I mean, what?
Yeah, we have career opportunities on our website. If you Google career opportunities with California Fish and Wildlife, there is a game warden section that you can click on. We also have other career opportunities for Craig's folks, for marine region or inland biologists or fisheries biologists. We have a lot of different avenues in the department. Law enforcement is one particular section of CDFW, but yeah, there's a career opportunities website. You can learn about what the minimum requirements are for education requirements. It's 60 semester units. We have recruitment officers that you can get a hold of. Once you go so far along in the process, you've done backgrounds, you can get on ride-alongs with our officers and go out in the field to get a better idea of what we do. Granted that you're further along in the interview process, but yeah, it has all the information to get started, the applications, what the minimum qualifications are, and our recruitment officers love to talk to people that are interested in doing the job.
What an awesome opportunity, I mean, it really is.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. You listen to Eric's background, 28 years on the job, but he started off as an outdoorsman, right? He surfed, he fished, he scuba dived. And on the phone, we got Dr. Craig Shuman. Craig, your background is very similar too, right?
It is, although somewhere I took the wrong path and I did not spend my career out on the boats. I ended up going to meetings and traded in my wetsuit for a suit and tie.
And we're happy you're doing it, Craig.
And Wayne, when you're sending me pictures of you going out on the boat in the morning, it's just salt in the wounds.
Loving it. Hey, if I couldn't do it, I wouldn't send it to a nicer guy, right? We invite you out every time to join us out there on the tagging trips and any kind of fishing trip we do. We love having you along. And if for people that don't know, Ken, myself, Craig, Eric, we all work together for many years at so many levels of what we do. And right now, Pacific Fisheries Management Council going on in Spokane is a very good example. The staff that works with Craig on the fisheries management plan, the marine science, all the analysis that goes on. Ken, we have Jamie Diamond, the new council member up there, taking her first time on the seat, replacing Mark Gorelnik. Congratulations to Jamie. But these are all the things that we do along with all of those sub areas, right? The groundfish, the highly migratory species, your CPS, which is all your bait, all the ecosystem. We work at so many levels with all of the department, National Marine Fisheries Service, NOAA, you name it. But we've been doing it for years. And thank God we have such good relationships with everybody. Right, Ken?
Yep, absolutely. Hey, Craig, I always hear from people, your department has done extraordinary trying to give people more opportunity to go fishing. Could you explain to everybody about the 50 fathoms and the seasons and the reason why you all came up with the methodology that there is. I think there needs to be some clarity on that.
Certainly. So for groundfish, we're looking at a suite of different species. And when we have constraining species, as we call them, or species that have a poor stock assessment, so right now, Southern California copper rockfish is one of our constraining stocks. We need to figure out how to avoid catching those fish. I get it. I've been out there at times where you can't avoid them. It seems like they're everywhere, but based on the best available science that came out of the council process, the data is telling us that that stock is lower than we want it to be. So we set the seasons in such a way where we can maximize opportunity and minimize impact on those constraining stocks. And that's why we'll see coming up next month that shift to offshore waters here in Southern California. Up in Northern California, we had a problem with quillback rockfish. We had a data moderate assessment that came back through the council process showing lower levels of that species. We constrained the seasons up north. It wasn't what the anglers were seeing on the water, didn't really jive with what we thought reality was. We put a lot of resources in at both the state, the federal, and partner levels to doing a full benchmark stock assessment. Lo and behold, the stock was not as bad as we thought. We got the data back, and then all parties worked really quickly to turn around and open up those waters in Northern California. So we do not have any depth restrictions up in Northern California right now, which is really nice.
Yeah, one thing for the anglers, I mean, I can't tell you how much work the department did to make sure that we had as much opportunity as possible to fish year round. That they could have easily said, you know, it's an inconvenience. We're just going to, here's your season, have a nice rest of the year. They didn't. They actually bent over backwards to figure out a way to get as much time on the water for us as possible. And we're very appreciative.
And the change right now between Central and Northern California, opening up the all depth, you know, for the rest of the year, taking away the central split line, all of that was exactly that, to try to maximize the opportunities for the recreational community. And thank God that they're doing it. They're working with us to try to make it as good as possible. I mean, we can talk later about salmon and all the other things that are happening right now. Every time we turn around, we are all trying to work together to find the right solution to be sustainable and responsible with our resources and not overfish, right? But it's a lot of process. There's a lot of rules, regulations that go into all of that. So it's very convoluted and complicated, but we all work so hard together to try to help all of us out.
Yeah, and behind the scenes, everybody's got to understand the stock assessment people, the staff people, the biologists, everybody's in on this to try and work out to get as much opportunity for the public as possible. And there needs to be some appreciation for a lot of the folks that you don't even know they exist, but they're the ones behind why we get to go fishing. So thank you, Craig, to you and your team.
Absolutely.
That was so nicely said, truly, Craig, because people, I mean, sport fishermen, they just get mad at seasons close and they don't understand. Like the whole salmon thing, we just get upset that the salmon are shut down, not understanding that if we just let them spawn a little bit more, let them go up the river for a year or two, that there may be a recruitment that comes on the back end of all that, correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors that are at play. Salmon are unique, right? Because they come inland, so they get the double, triple whammy of all sorts of different impacts, whether it's water, dams, diversions, ocean conditions. And thanks, Ken, for appreciation. It's not just my folks, it's your folks as well. So a lot of the seasons are structured based on input provided by industry representatives. So when we get to those council meetings, when we have our ad hoc work group meetings, we listen to the input from stakeholders, from fishermen, fisherwomen. And what we heard was, we want time on the water. We don't want closed season. So that's where we went to those different depths, because time on the water was the highest priority.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah, so nicely said, and incredible that we have a full 2 hours of this for this morning. If you want to join us, a couple ways to do it. We're stoked to have Craig, Eric, and the man in the house here, Ken Franke. Stoked to have them all in studio. And if you want to join us, 833-288-0973 is the number to the fan. Kyle's waiting for your call. We'll get you in. And as a matter of fact, the lines are completely full. Everyone's excited about this morning's show. Or you can just send us a text via the app. You could do it that way and send us a question. I can only imagine what's on your mind. You can go ahead and send it in.
Texting, phone calls. Phone calls are filling up quickly, and the texts are just flying in.
And we're giving away a full day trip on the Liberty right here out of Fisherman's Landing. So if you want to join us, we'll have either Ken or Eric flip the prize coin at the end of the show. Whether that full day trip on the Liberty is going to a lucky caller or texter, we're going to be right back. You're listening to Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup, not only on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, but on 97.3 The Fan.
Haida Gwaii Safaris, formerly Queen Charlotte Safaris, invites you to experience the magic of Haida Gwaii Islands, British Columbia, Canada. Hi, I'm Valerie Hoprich. 25 years ago, I fell in love with these incredible islands, the breathtaking scenery, the warm community, and the truly phenomenal fishing. That passion inspired me to open my own fishing lodge, just steps from the Sandspit Harbor at Haida Gwaii Safaris. You will be fishing in pristine, pressured waters for Chinook, king salmon, halibut, lingcod, and much more. Plus, be surrounded by untouched beauty. We pride ourselves on creating an unforgettable venture that turns first-time guests into lifetime friends. You will come for the fishing, and you will come back for the memories. We are booking now. Call us at 1-877-815-2892 or visit our website, qcsafaris.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Haida Gwaii Safaris, where adventure and friendship meet.
Lobster season is here, and success starts with the right gear. And no one does it better than Promar. Based in SoCal, Promar's Ambush Series hoop nets and accessories are trusted by the most dedicated lobster fishermen on the coast. If you're a serious lobster fisherman or a beginner, Promar makes the gear and shares the information you need to be successful on the water. Promar, the name behind more lobster limits than any other. Visit promarihe.com to gear up today.
Hi, my name is Chris Webb, and I'm one of the owners of Nature Fed Beef Company. We started Nature Fed to bring families the highest quality beef that you can get in Southern California. Did you know when you buy ground beef at the store, it can contain hundreds, if not thousands, of different cows? All our cows are pasture raised and pasture finished. They roam and graze on green grass miles away from any freeways, assuring low levels of cortisol and some of the best meat quality that you can get. These animals are raised in God's country, in the Klamath Basin and just outside of Corning, California. We sell our cow shares in quarters, half, and full cows. This gives you a cut from every piece of the cow, and all the meat you buy comes from the same cow. We deliver it right to your door, packaged and ready for your freezer. Let's Talk Hookup listeners can enjoy $250 off any beef order with the code Hookup. Give us a call at 619-324-3555 to order, or visit naturefedbeef.com. $250 off any beef order with the code Hookup. Visit naturefedbeef.com.
Turners Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and stoked to be in studio today. Wayne, captain of the ship, man, doing an awesome job. So stoked to be in here with you and having our guests, man, Eric Ford and Craig Shuman and Ken Frankie. And if you want to join us, 833-288-0973 is the number to the fan, or you can send us a text via the app, and there's a ton of texts coming through, and we're giving away a full day trip on the Liberty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a good one. Hey, let's take a call.
Let's do that. How about we talk to Mike calling from Torrance. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just wanted to give you a fish report from Hermosa Beach. Right now I'm getting bit, but I have yellowfin croaker, corbina, perch under my belt. My buddy's got a small leopard shark. It's beautiful down here.
Oh, that's a great news. Great news after what the weather we had on Wednesday and Thursday going up and down the coast. It was a little snotty outside. And, man, did you guys see all those mudslides going up in Oak Glen and stuff? It's kind of scary up in Big Bear right now. Hey, congratulations. Good job, Mark. Or Mike.
It's Mike, but thank you. Yeah, it's a good.
Cool. Always love that on the water report, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to take another call, Wayne?
Yes, sir.
Let's do that. How about John? John calling from Escondido. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, and Wayne. Thank you very much for keeping all the switches in the right direction. Not that Cory couldn't do it, but so the show goes on.
We'll be honest, John. It's something I couldn't. I couldn't, and Wayne's doing a great job.
Yes, he does. It's nice to have a backup for Pete.
Backup to the backup.
Say just backup for the backup. Hey, gentlemen. So I got a couple questions. Right. My first question is, I hear skippers. I go out on private charters a lot, and in my buddies' boats every once in a while, and they talk about going and getting. They're out for 2 days. They're going to get 2 days permits for bluefin. Do you have to have? But we don't do that. Get any kind of a permit when I go out on my buddy's boat. And then the other one is you talked about not bringing back certain fish from Mexico. I'll go on an 8-day or 22-day, and sometimes we get leopard grouper or black sea bass. And I've seen sometimes they let you bring them back, and then sometimes they don't.
That's a good one for Eric.
A couple good questions, actually.
Yeah. So for the black sea bass, generally if it's prohibited here, you can't bring it back here, but there's a specific provision in the regulations in Title 14 that allows you to bring back 2 black sea bass per day per angler. You got to have it on your declaration form, and you got to have the license, the appropriate licenses and permits. That's 2 per day per angler.
But I think, Ken Frankie, so we like to follow California law, basically. Like, that's on a sport boat. We can't bring back a 27-inch white sea bass. White sea bass is going back.
Yeah, the challenge is a lot of folks in the public don't know what they're looking at when it comes to some of those older fish, the black sea bass, group, broomtail, etc. And so, honestly, unless you got a burning desire to bring back a black sea bass, probably be best to just send it, release it.
Just let it go. Let it go.
It's just in most cases, what are you going to do with it? It's just a difficult one. It's just a difficult one. I mean, it would be legal, but it's just be sure what you're doing, because a lot of folks, especially private boaters, etc., they'll look at the fish and they'll be guessing, and it's like you can't afford to guess. So unless unless you're absolutely certain that what you have is what you think you have, you're better off just let the fish go.
Letting it go. And then for the 2-day,
that'll probably get me in trouble.
You're right. Exactly.
It's the truth.
No way. So being on a sport boat out of San Diego, Mission Bay, they just like to follow California law, period. Like that's what they do. And there is no question at the end of the trip. But so for the 2-day trip, Eric.
Yeah. So for the multi-day fishing permits, we have a website and form for that. If you Google that form, it'll take you to that particular page for the department website. It's a form that needs to be turned in and filled out 48 hours prior to your departure. And in order to have a day's limit count for each day, you have to start your day at least by noon, or it's got to be 12 hours on the first day and then at least 12 hours on the last day. So if you're doing a 3-day trip and you want to come home with 3 days of limits, that's the max that you can come home with. You gotta leave. You gotta start your trip, meaning not leave your house, but leave on your boat by noon.
Untie from the dock.
Untied from the dock by noon, and that will allow you to get that first day's limit. Then you have your second day, and then you come back on the third day. You can't come back until after afternoon on that third day. So then you can have your 3 days limits, and that's for finfish and lobster.
So you have to have that.
Oh yeah, because if you don't have the form, then you're going to be cited for over limits.
Right, and with the big one coming up, lobster season starting on Friday at 6 p.m. Am I correct?
Yes, Friday the 26th at 6 p.m.
for sport.
And the reason it's always the Saturday preceding the first Wednesday in October. The first Wednesday in October every year is when the commercial season starts. So the department always likes to give it's always been this way, but the recreational anglers get a few days jump on the season.
It hasn't always been that way, though. I remember. I can remember, Eric, 30 years ago, that the sport fishing season started the same day, and it was so frustrating as a sport angler, right? Because the traps would the commercial traps would be baited on Tuesday.
Tuesday is the bait.
And fishing before you could as a sport fishing angler. I remember those days. So
they pre-soak.
So
they would pre-soak.
That
Right,
must have been before my time.
It was,
yes,
but
yeah.
what I'm trying to say is my
that was
hats,
28 years ago. Just saying.
right. but my hat's off to the department, okay, because they had the sport fishing angler in mind, right?
Yes,
and they
absolutely,
gave us a few extra days ahead.
Yes, yeah. And it used to be,
And
we used to
we've moved that day around a little bit.
Yes,
absolutely.
We have moved it around. It used to be like at midnight.
It was at midnight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was
at
like
midnight,
dirty
and we
fishing
saw
at that
that
point.
people were getting hurt.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, we've made a few
Guys were
changes to
getting
make
off
it
of
better
work.
for everybody, right, Craig? We've done the soak time different. We've taken away the soak time early. You do it at 6 p.m. on Friday. We've made it so that you can call your hoop on your boat, not over the edge, which made it safer for everybody, not hanging a net over and trying to call. I mean, we've tried a lot of different things to just make it better and safer for the anglers.
And more friendly, right?
Right.
Yeah, safe. And the lobster thing is probably one of the state's like most high regarded, like has to be, right? I mean, if you put the commercial value on the pound per lobster, it has to be one of the state's highest resources, right?
I would think so. Craig probably has a better data.
Yeah, it's within the top 10. 23, 24, 2 years ago was the highest volume and value of the commercial fishery that we've ever seen. And those are non-adjusted dollars over time, but they brought in almost $25 million in the commercial sector that year. That was 2 years ago. Last year, they brought in about half of that. Catch was down and also prices were down. So a lot of that product is exported overseas, where they're getting an extremely high price. So that's why when you go to your local Costco, you see lobster tails from New Zealand, Tasmania, Australia. You don't see California lobster tails because those are getting a higher price overseas.
Oh man, you
But
go
for
overseas and try
Southern
to go catch
California-
those? Yeah, you're not kidding, Craig. You're talking over $100 a pound overseas to eat one of our lobsters.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
It's super insane. And that's, I mean, hats off again to you, Craig, the biologist of the state, right? And Eric Cord, and it's the assessment. I mean, the stocks have to be as healthy today as they were 20, 30 years ago, right? I mean, it hasn't declined in a bad way, right?
No, our lobster stock is doing really well. We did a stock assessment several years ago and found that, and kudos to the old timer scientists, the size limit that we have is the perfect size limit. Will that change? We're starting to see some different growth patterns with different changing watering conditions and water temperatures. But right now, the lobster stock's doing well. You know, it goes through cycles like everything else. Do want to put a plug in for the lobster report cards. So, you know, we put those in about 10 years ago, getting some really valuable data from the recreational sector on those report cards. Last year was the highest number of report cards that were sold, aside from the COVID year, and the highest catch reported on report cards, aside from the very first year that report cards were sold. Unfortunately, last year, our return rate was down. We'd been averaging about 50% return rates after we instituted the non-return fee. Last year, that return rate dropped down to about 39%. So unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of folks going back to their local shops buying their report card this year, and they're going to get hit with that non-return fee. Really easy to avoid that at the end of the season or when you're done fishing lobster for the year. Go online and report your card. Really easy to do to avoid that fee.
Yeah, they've made it so much easier. You don't have to go on. You don't have to turn it in manually. You can just go online and fill it out. And I don't know why people don't do it. And I think one of the problems is people may go out and get a report card, go on a trip, and if they don't get anything,
that's it right there.
They don't report it because they don't think about that. But a zero is just as important as everything else, right? To think about the numbers that have to get reported. They get 30% or 40% of the report, but they have to do that averaging to all the report cards. If you got a zero but didn't report it, you're kicking our average report up in the numbers of catch. We need you to report all of your catches so that we get an accurate reporting of what was taken out, not a statistical reporting. I can't stress that enough. We need everybody to participate in turning in those cards, even if it's zero. So a question that
And
came
even
up-
if you didn't fish.
Yes.
If you didn't fish, there's a did not fish box as well, and that's even more important.
That's important
than the
too.
zeros.
Exactly.
Because we're looking at catch per unit effort over time. So how many trips? How did people do? How do different gear types perform? What locations are producing more lobster? All that's really important information for us.
Man, talking gear type, Promar has absolutely made it easy. Like, I mean, we're going back to decades for me hoop netting, and it used to be the Eclipse style, like ring over ring, and you had to have everything perfect.
No, flat nets.
Flat nets.
Flat nets. And I go back to when we pulled and made our own nets out of rebar.
Well, that's
on the flat nets.
That's
how
where
far
I'm
back I
going,
go.
right?
Yeah.
But Promar has made it so darn easy with their ambush style, rigid frame and
the bait cages, seal-proof bait cages.
If you're listening to this and you ever wanted to just dabble in it, just go to Promar. Like, that's all you need to know.
So following up on a question that came up last week when the Promar guys were on, Colin here, he says, hey, good morning. I got a quick question. The CDFW on the pros asking about the bait, using my leftover tuna, bonita, and all of that. That came up last week.
Yeah.
Why don't you clarify that for us?
Yeah, sure. Bonita would probably be the one you need to pay attention to. But what people need to know when you're going out on the boat is when you are in possession of whatever fish that you want to use for bait, there's two main laws that game wardens look out for when you have your fish in possession. And the things that we need to be able to tell is if it's a fish that has a minimum size, we need to be able to measure it. It's got to be in a measurable condition. Or if it's a fish that we need to identify that has a bag limit, we got to be able to count your fish. So if you throw all your bonita all chunked up in a big freezer block for you to use as bait, and we can't tell what the size was or how many you got, that you're going to be in violation of that. So I would think for bonita, I'm guessing, to me, bonita is my most favorite sushi if it's done right. Like, I'm going to eat my bonita, but you're going to maybe want to use the heads for bait or something like that. So if you've got your bonita fillets on the boat, for the filleting regs for bonita, you're allowed to have your 10 fillets. That counts as your 5 fish that you're allowed to have under the 24-inch fork limit. So you have your 10 fillets maybe in your freezer somewhere. That's fine. You're going to go home with those. But let's say you want to use the heads. Don't have more than maybe 5 heads, your 5 heads per angler, because that is your undersized fish. We assume that that's going to be your undersized, even if it's a really big fish, because if you have the whole carcasses, we can measure the whole carcasses. But if you're just going to use like the heads in your bait jar, don't have more than 5 per person, because that's going to be your undersized limit there, your undersized bag limit. So,
and it's so crazy because it's, to some listeners, it sounds like you're being a stickler, and it sounds like, there's, it's just this guy's being overly hard. But think about Officer Eric Horde Warden, trying to enforce a wrongdoer.
Yes.
That's where you need to look at this.
We got to be able to come on board and ascertain what fish do you have. If that fish has a size limit or fillet length, we got to be able to measure that out. We got to be able to count how many you have. You got to be able to identify what you have.
The 99% of the people that are going to do it right have to follow, so that Eric Horde can step in and get the 1% that are not doing it right.
Let's take another phone call.
Let's do it. How about John? John calling from Long Beach. Good morning, John. Appreciate you joining us this morning.
Morning, guys. My question is, if I catch a black sea bass, because you catch them when you catch calico bass and sand bass, my question is, can I take that fish out of the water, or do I have to unhook my hook while it's still in the water?
I would say you're going to need to use your best judgment on that and return it to the water immediately. That's the law is to return it to the water. We know that people like to take photos. Letter of the law and best practices is going to get that fish back in the water as soon as you can. We're looking for people that are possessing it, and if you have it on your boat for an unreasonable amount of time, then you're looking at getting cited.
And I can tell you, on a sport boat, where the guys are putting a descending vise on them as quickly as they can and putting a heavier weight to get those bigger fish down. So, as Eric's saying, speed is the key. We want that fish to live.
Very cleanly said, for sure.
So hey, real quick text clarification, Eric, on the hoop net. We got Darren from Menifee asking if he's got his dad and his son go out. How I am unmarking all the buoys with the go IDs. All the buoys belong to Darren. Can he have his ID on all 10, but then add his dad and his son below that when they go out as for the 5 and the 5?
Great question.
Yeah, so the limit is going to be 10 on the vessel, and as long as someone's go ID number that's on the boat is on the buoys, then that's fine. You just got to have, as long as that person is on the boat with the go ID number that's on the buoy, that's the most important thing. And a segue to that, there is a new regulation coming out. It'll be effective in January. There was a host of regulations mainly for the crab industry, and Craig can talk about that a little bit more. But they did add some hoop net regulations, and one of them was a tampering provision. And it'll be effective in January. And basically, it's a protection for an angler can't pull another's hoop nets that where you don't have your own go ID number on it. And if you are pulling someone else's go ID number, that person has to be on the boat. If you're pulling a hoop net that has another go ID number other than your own, and that person isn't on the boat, then you will be in violation of that tampering.
So was that set forth because there were, John was pulling Tom's?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was totally pulling somebody else's. Great information.
Every rule is prefaced by somebody up to a shenanigan.
Right? I mean, well, why not? Let's keep it in line. Hey, to keep it in line, we're going to be right back. You're listening to Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup, not only on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live, but 97.3 The Fan.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time on the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and BD Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways, and one thing I'm really grateful for is my little brother, Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no-obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and having so much fun in the world headquarters today, and super busy too, man. Saw some a lot of fish being unloaded, and just
yeah, we had a couple of boats come in. We had the Intrepid offload first thing this morning, then the XL came in. Otherwise, the docks are kind of quiet because
super
everybody's
empty.
out fishing right now.
I know.
There's so much going on outside.
And in the world headquarters, man, it's super busy having Eric Cord and Ken Frankie and Craig Shuman, man, up in where are you, Craig, right now?
I'm in Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, okay. Beautiful part of the state right there. And if you want to join us, you can do so, 833-288-0973, or you can send us a text via the app. Got a hot question for Eric, Craig, or Ken, we'll bring it on in.
Absolutely. Hey, there's a good one. Hey, Craig, unfortunately, they didn't leave their name, so we can't get back to them, but they're asking about the survey people at the dock. Can you talk about the surf samplers?
Sure, those are our Surf Samplers California Recreational Fishing Survey. Those are our army of folks that are out there intercepting anglers at the docks and give us our primary estimates of what you guys catch when you go out fishing. So they're looking at what fish you caught. Sometimes they'll measure fish, sometimes they'll take biological samples. They're very well trained in fish identification. They know that when you're bringing your boat into the launch ramp, it's stressful, it's busy. You're trying to get the truck, you're trying to get the trailer. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of things can go wrong when you're pulling your boat out. So they know to stay out of the way, but also that's the time where we want to try to get information. So talk to them, be nice to them, and try to give them as much information as you can. So when you're out there fishing, try to remember what you caught, and also what you didn't keep, what you returned, what you sent back. Hopefully everyone's using descenders for just about everything. The other day I was out there with my buddies and we must have descended like 100 baby rockfish. It was like, they always put me on the descender. So we're just sending them down. And so we're just trying to keep track of what we saw. If you can't identify it, that's okay. But give all that information to the sampler. That goes into our statisticians. They then generate our estimates of what we're catching.
It's all good stuff. So yeah, just go by it and give them some info and
all that information. People, I was on that same thing a long time ago where I don't have time for you. I just got back. I'm tired. And I didn't understand what that data was being used for and how critical it is for what they're doing on the fisheries management side, the analysis, capturing the statistical data. It's very necessary because if we don't provide it, they have to estimate it. And the estimates will work against us every single time. So the more information we can provide, including the lobster report cards, the more that we can provide, the more accurate those numbers will be that we can use in our processes.
Just simply said right there, hey, talk about accurate numbers. I want to get some from Marcos and see if we're sport fishing, right? To find out how the fishing's been and all this tropical weather, man, I can only imagine. It's probably been pretty good. And it's brought to us by Dana Landing on Mission Bay. It's your one-stop shop for everything you need to go fishing. They have a complete deli, beverages, boating supplies, as well as one of San Diego's most complete saltwater tackle shops. You can also check out East County Bait and Tackle and Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle with the best in both freshwater and saltwater tackle, along with live bait. And Dana Landing is right next to the launch ramp, right there at the Dana launch ramp in Mission Bay. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway in Lakeside, and Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is on Broadway in Lemon Grove. For all of that, you can check danalanding.com. And good morning, Marcos.
Good morning, Marcos.
Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing today?
Doing great. Excited to hear what this tropical monsoonal stuff has brought in the fishing world.
Let's start off with a fun one. The twilight last night, 47 anglers, 235 bonito.
Woo! Wow.
So that would be a fun twilight trip to be on. I'm sure there was lots of laughs, a lot of good times we had there, and it's been kind of that way throughout the week here. Day before that, 60 bonito, 12 calico bass, catfish release, a little bit of bottom fishing there. And again, we're still running those twilights, and we're going to keep running them as long as there's fish to catch, as long as you guys come out. Right now, they're Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. So definitely, that's just a fun trip. I know Ricky would love that. The half days themselves, very good fishing too on those morning and afternoon trips. Yellowtail, bonita, some barracuda, calico bass, rockfish, pretty much everything you would expect out of a fun half-day trip there. Full days, mix of fishing the islands and offshore this week. They're trying to really find a groove there. Catch some yellowtail, some bottom fish in the mix there. No bluefin on those full days, but hopefully they get back to that at some point here. I believe the San Diego right now, they're keeping that option open to go to the islands or fish offshore. So if you do make reservations for those double check. A lot of those do require passports still. The overnights, it's kind of returned to form there. Some very good bluefin fishing on those trips there. The 1 days, 2 days, day and a half, 3 days, all the whole mix in there. A few trips, not as good, but overall they're definitely picking back up. And I mean, we're going into the middle of September here, and they're still catching bluefin. And minus a few lulls there, they've been catching bluefin since what, April, May. So very good fishing overall. Check the website, seaforthlanding.com. Got our full schedule up there for everything from half days, those twilights, 1 day, day and a half, 2 days, some longer trips in the mix there. And like we talk about this time of the year, it's still busy. It may not seem like it, but it's still busy. So definitely make your reservations ahead of time. If you have any questions, give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. More than happy to help you guys out, answer any questions you have, get you out on a trip. Come down, visit us in person, make sure that gear's still running great. Pick up all your MC swim baits because that's what everything's being caught on, and we'll get you out there fishing.
Ah, that nicely said. Checks in the mail. Hey,
Little plug.
Right? How often, Marcos, do you actually step on over and have one of those breakfast burritos from next door at Charlie's Landing?
Well, I've actually got one waiting for me as soon as I'm done with the show here.
Oh, that's just wrong right there. See?
So wrong. Dude, after I had that chorizo burrito, it was, I mean, I've had plenty of greasy chorizo burritos, trust me, in my life. And that was not that.
That was so wrong to see that on the stream, you guys eating during the commercial break and
Oh,
stuff.
my God. It's so
So
good.
not fair.
But so what are you having? I'm kind of curious, Marcos.
Take a wild guess.
Is it chorizo?
It's a chorizo burrito.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Rock Cod Rick breakfast burrito special.
No, we haven't been able to get that back. We need to try that again and get the rock cod going.
Well, when Brant was in here, we had his agent talking with Rick's agent, and we'll see if we can connect the two. All right, Marcos, thank you.
There.
We definitely enjoy the laughs and enjoy a breakfast burrito, and we'll see you on the fishing grounds, man.
We'll talk to you next week with hopefully another good update.
Okay, Marcos.
All right, thanks, Marcos. Hey, so we had a really good one here. Jason from Ocean Beach saying, hey, good morning. Thanks for all the knowledge and everything. Question is, what's the best way to stay out of legal problems? Where do you go and find what you can and can't fish and what's legal? Craig, do we have a great spot for them for that?
Yeah, so the best place to go is our website. So if you go to Fish and Wildlife or wildlife.ca.gov, go to ocean fishing, there's a clickable map there, as we call it. You can go on there and click on the place you want to go fishing, the different areas of the state, click on the species you're interested in. We also have a mobile website that you can use. And so you can go to that website and do it on your phone. The challenge is you need to have cell phone reception to have it live. So if you're going to go out of an area where you don't have cell phone reception, make sure you know what the rules are ahead of time. Make sure you know where those lines are, those ground fish lines, if you're out fishing at the islands and you've got those in your plotter. We're working on a resident app on your phone so you can get that stuff and you'll be able to use it in real time without cell phone reception, but we're still a few years out on getting that spooled up.
Excellent. Hey, and then, Department of Fish and Wildlife, you guys know that we all have that 365 license now and the app. You got to download that app so that you can go on the water and if you have it downloaded and it's on your phone, it's the one place you can show your fishing license to a warden. It is not a screenshot. It is on the app. Right, Eric?
Yeah, it's that came online a couple years ago, and it's a good tool, and it's in law that the department had to progress to this step that we will start accepting electronic licenses, and that's the best platform to do it.
So awesome.
Let's take another call.
Let's do that. How about Mike? Mike calling from Rosemead. Good morning, Mike. Appreciate you joining us this morning.
Hey, good morning. This is not a little beef, but I just, when people say, you can always look something up on the website, or, instead of getting an actual answer, they just don't want to give you an answer. They say, I just can't you just look it up on the website? I don't live on my phone. I don't want to have my phone control my life. But being that, with all these rules and regulations that are so obscure and very hard to find, when I am navigating the iPhone, I was getting a fishing license for my wife, and I was debating whether to get a saltwater tag with it, because she doesn't really even fish. So we are going to go up to the Sierras and capitalize on that adventures in camping starting tomorrow for a week. So appreciate that all, Rick Maxa, for the help he gave me.
Which he's up there right now. Him and
Right.
Dallas and the kids. But the boys are catching their trout and having a good time. Boy, that looked like a great setup when he posted up there with Dallas and everybody. That just looked phenomenal.
Dude, nobody does it better, right?
Adventures in Camping set that thing up. They went up there with the van, the kids, the dog. They're right by the water. They're just having such a good time.
Yeah, it's awesome for sure. And if you want to do that, it's Adventure in Camping and make it easy for you. And Mike, thank you for the call. Listen, when we come back, if you've been listening to us on 97.3 The Fan, we're going to come back still with Eric Cord, Craig Shuman, and Ken Frankie on the YouTube, Facebook Live, and the Let's Talk Hookup app. We'll see you on the backside.
Can you hear the commercial? It's not playing? Uh-oh. How come? What's going on? I don't know what's not playing.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And so stoked, the second hour here. We're on YouTube, Facebook Live, and we said goodbye to 97.3 The Fan, but we are on the Let's Talk Hookup app, and stoked to have Eric Cord. What's your title, Eric? Is a senior
assistant chief.
Assistant chief.
Yes, I work for the chief of patrol, and then under our program, there's captains, patrol captains that oversee a couple of patrol boats and squads. And then we have lieutenant supervisors that run the patrol boats, and then we have game wardens or fish and wildlife officers that work on the boats.
And you oversee all that.
I do. I'm lucky enough
incredible.
to work with those fellas and provide some guidance and provide some opportunities for them to get into some exciting work. So it's a super fun job.
And within the division, we could call you a senior, right?
Yeah, I'm getting up there. You start to feel old when the cadets that are coming out of the academy were born after I got hired from the department.
Isn't that incredible? That is incredible.
Well,
we're thankful to have individuals like yourself within the division, and having Ken Frankie from SAC, president of SAC in studio, and Craig Shuman in Santa Barbara, and his official title, senior biologist. Am I right, Craig?
Yeah, I'm a Marine Region Manager, so I oversee all of our Marine Region activities.
Yeah.
We've got about 150 scientists full-time and about another 100 part-time folks. Those are those surf samplers we were talking about earlier.
Incredible, man. It's all of you that keep our resources in line and keep it accessible to license holding sport fishing or even commercial individual too.
Yeah, and I wanted to say something for that last caller that was asking about ways to get information, and maybe they weren't very savvy online. You can call us or email us. They have actually a dedicated Lobster email line. It's lobster@wildlife.ca.gov. So if you have a specific question about lobster and you want to email that individual, they'll try to get back to you with questions. And if the person that's handling that email, if it's a really technical law enforcement question, they don't know it, they'll come contact us and say, hey, we got this question. So we're always going to try to get an answer for folks. And that's probably the best way if maybe you don't know how to navigate the website.
I have a question along the lines. Lobster season's just coming up and everything's good there. Do you have something, Wayne? Do you have
No,
something
real
to bring
quick for
in?
everybody. Hey, live show, first time running this thing.
Yeah.
If you notice that little downtime, it's a live show. For whatever reason, we went off the fin and the commercials didn't run. We're working on that right now. You know, this is part of live show stuff. And we got Mark on from.
Okay, Mark Wish, our private boater buddy. Good morning, Mark. And it's brought to us by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. It's where you get your premier processing experience. You can check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. And with more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity and the finest customer service. Stop by their location in Old Town. It's right there on Taylor Street. Or you can check them out at fishermansprocessing.com. And don't forget to make your reservation today. And good morning, Mr. Mark Wish. How you doing?
We're good, Corey. Thanks for the introduction there. Wayne, Ken, Eric, Craig, full house. So much good information this morning. You guys are doing a fantastic job there. Guys, this is the last report of our 2025 summer season. And it's been a bit different, I got to say. A little more weather than normal, a little less fish than normal, especially in their inner areas here. And but we'll see what the fall season brings. You know, officially starts on Monday. And traditionally, some of the best bites of the year are still ahead of us. So don't be putting those fishing poles away just yet. We got lots of good stuff coming up. So starting along the coast here, calico bass fishing, near and dear to my heart. Probably yours too, Corey.
Yes, sir.
That calico bass fishing's been pretty good out here. Local water's still warm and clean, and they're biting. You know, for years, I love taking the boat out in the afternoons and when the wind's not blowing too much, setting up on a horseshoe, and those bass love it when the sun comes out and a little breeze comes up, and just fly lining baits or fishing Cory's plastics. It's just a great way to catch some of that good calico bass, and it's been pretty darn good. Not much from up north or outside here. You know, again, that weather's been an issue. There is some yellows and sea bass on the squid at Santa Barbara Island, but the weather's been an issue there. But we got a couple decent days, and then we're going to get another round of this tropical stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. Or at Catalina, still chugging along with a surprising amount of squid for this time of year, still backside east mostly. And, you know, you guys go over there, I would catch some bait and then relocate to some of the deeper structure spots like outside Ben Weston, Screaming Monkey, Pedestal Rock, West End High Spot, like that. Good time of year right now to fish those big yellows, fish heavy tackle guys. There's real tackle busters around. Or at San Clemente Island, some bait still in the cove there, kind of closer to China, and a little bit of yellow, and a few sea bass still on it. It's been fighting for a long time there. But make sure you check the website there. There's been some drama with closures, so make sure you check the website before going to Clemente. Offshore, had some late breaking news here yesterday. This is good stuff. The tuna fishing closer to home has just basically been non-existent this year. A little dab here and there, but nothing at all consistent. But yesterday late, a little mix of yellowfin and bluefin showed up at the lower end of the 9, outside the 9 there. And hopefully that stuff sticks around and gets a little bit of that inshore tuna bite going. You know, it's been good offshore. The main area is, you know, for weeks now has been up around the 499 to the 711 down to the west end of Clemente, that area up there. There's plenty of fish up there right now, mostly smaller fish. A lot of that big stuff seems like it's gone elsewhere, but no shortage of fish. You know, they're biting the fly line sardines, and of course they're biting the spreader bars and the Mad Max and all the other trolling stuff. But that area has really been holding up. And then I want to offer some good luck and good thoughts to all the guys in the War Heroes on Water tournament coming up this weekend. It's a absolutely amazing organization they've put together. Best of luck to all you guys fishing in that. And beyond that, go fishing, guys. It's still a lot of stuff going on.
Absolutely. Great report, Mark.
I know, it's all that good stuff. And, all that good information, Mark, and everything that that Danny provides, and fishdope.com. And if you ever want to join and be a member and get all that good stuff, Hookup now, and that's all lowercase, no space, and it'll save you $30 if you want to join up the entire year and get all that good info. And Mark, I don't know, definitely some of the best bait tanks in the world, something near and dear to my heart. Even though I'm an artificial fishing kind of guy, live bait is a key ingredient in our fisheries, and you definitely have the best bait tanks on the West Coast, if not the world, for sure. And how do we find you, Mark?
Thanks for that, Corey. Hey, before we get into that, though, I got a question for your panel.
Oh, boy.
What's going on with the cow cod situation? They seem to be no shortage of them now. They've recovered well. And what's the brain trust thinking about what we're going to do about having a cow cod for dinner once in a while?
That's a great question for you, Craig. That's on the top of my mind. We've been deemed rebuilt for the last 3 years, and we're trying to figure out how to open up a bag limit. What do you say, Craig?
So I couldn't hear the caller.
Oh,
so
I'm
was it
sorry.
about cow
So
cod?
Mark is asking, what's the situation on cow cod? And we're out fishing and we can't get away from them. But he's asking what's the status and what do you think we're going to be able to do to try to open something up to be able to fish the cow cod going forward?
So we want to take a cautious approach. They've been rebuilt, which is a great thing. We're starting to see them come up again. Encouraging folks, make sure you descend them, use big weights. We know it's heavy. What we don't want to do is start retaining them and then instantly blow through our catch limits and find ourselves back in a situation where we've got to close down other areas. So we're taking a long-term approach on this, and we're going to slowly ease into it. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like. We do know folks want to keep them. We want folks to be able to keep them when the time is right, but we don't want to do it in a way that jeopardizes all that opportunity we just created in some of those deeper waters.
No, that's so nicely said, Craig. And so that our listeners understand, when we have Craig on our secret line and we've got Mark Wish on our secret line, neither one can hear each other. And it's just the way the system is, Mark. Sorry. But Craig had an awesome answer and explanation for you, Mark. And you'll have to listen back on the app or that's such to get it back when we have it live on the app.
Yeah, the nuances of a live show and the multiple streams. And
it's entertaining.
It's entertaining on this end, let me tell you.
No, it's definitely good stuff, Mark, and appreciate. How do we find you, Mark? Are you still there? No, he's not there. Okay, well, I know he's next to the Chevron right there.
Yeah,
Pulse Chica and Edinger.
Yeah, one thing that Craig said that's important for
Yes.
everybody to understand, they're incrementally and very carefully opening things as they occur. We want to be very careful we don't go backwards. So this very judicious, well-educated, good decision-making process is going to be benefiting us all in the end. And so we need to go along with the program, cooperate with the samplers when they come aboard or meet you at a boat ramp. But this incremental cow cod as an example, we don't want to mistakenly go, okay, good to go. And then 2 months later, sorry, you caught too many. Now everything's shut down. We got to be smart about what we're doing. So the department we're communicating constantly with them about those exact topics.
This is exactly why it's important to have like groups like CCA Cal and SAC working with the department and all of the marine science people, the analysts, all working together to find the right solution so we don't get into the situation that shut us down for 20 years after all of that rebuilding, because they are very slow growing. We know they're out there, but we need to figure out the best way to open that spigot slowly.
Incremental.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, Ken, I mean, it could all just be shut down and make it easy, right? Make it easy on the state, make it easy on the enforcement, but it's not. I mean, we can still fish it, and we have to jump through a couple hoops and fish shallower at certain times and only deeper at others. And
yeah, that's one thing that for the listeners out there that I wanted to bring up and ask Eric a question. Look, when the wardens board us and when the department does the work that they do, they're working for us. They're trying to help us. And especially out there on the water, when the wardens are approaching a boat, they don't know you. So always set a positive tone, welcome them. But Eric, what should anglers expect when the warden's approached by boat out there on the water?
Sure. I mean, we're generally out there to inspect anyone fishing, and that's going to be commercial fishermen, recreational anglers, anyone that's on the water that's actively participating. We're going to take a look at, and typically, we try to stay within normal etiquette at sea. We ask for permission to board, and most folks are generally pretty welcoming. And we're there to look at catch and licenses, make sure you're not in an area where you're not supposed to be. And we take a look at all of your fish on board. Now, we do have a little bit more search authority than your typical, police officer or sheriff's deputy. We have the authority to search anywhere that fish or parts thereof can be taken or can be stored. And we typically ask for permission, say, hey, can you open up that cooler for us? And as long as there's evidence there that you've been fishing, you have your gear there, you have, there's bait, there's
scales
bait,
on the boat.
scales. Yeah. That gives us search authority to look a little further. And naturally there's people out there who believe in, the Fourth Amendment rights and unreasonable search and seizures, but they will say, hey, no, can do you have the authority to look in there? And we'll explain our authority. And we can look into that cooler if per se someone doesn't want to give us permission. So, but usually the folks that don't give us permission, that aren't open and welcoming, are usually people that are hiding stuff.
That's that 1%.
Yes,
I don't know if
that's
I'm
that
saying the right
1%,
percentage, but from a layman's term, it's
a small percentage.
Yeah.
And most of the people that we're issuing citations to are generally people that just didn't know the rules or regs prior to going before. And they didn't know that was a marine protected area, or they didn't know that fish had undersize. And then there's a very small percentage that intentionally, break the law. And you can tell because they stop fishing when we approach, or they try to pull up anchor and go away, and or they're hiding stuff and they're being, evasive on our questions. And those are the people that we're really trying to find out what they have and why are they being secretive about what they're doing.
That's pretty simply said.
Absolutely. Hey, so Pete's on vacation, heading up to Montana.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures of him stopping by, Lolly stopping by Yellowstone and seeing the geyser and all that. But hey, he texted in and he wanted us to try to promote this. There's Mason with LLC Fishing Club president. They're doing a premiere of The Ghosts on the Pacific at the Encinitas Farm Lab. Dive into the story of the elusive white sea bass through breathtaking underwater cinematography. The film explores the challenges and rewards of pursuing these ghosts in the deep and the conservation efforts into future generations. And there's an opportunity to go see that. It's coming up here. Let's see, when is it?
That sounds like a fun one for sure.
Yeah, it's where's the date? Hang on.
I mean, that the whole ghost being the white sea bass thing, right? I mean, that's sounds like a lot of fun.
So they're just gonna go to their website. It's the LLC Fishing Club. Go there and you can buy the tickets. They're $25 a person to go, and then watch it. You can go sign up online. It's llcfoundation.org, and it's under the event tab. So go see it. It's a great movie. I've actually seen it once already. And then, hey, just a reminder, Rollo has their Rada Week going on right now, their giveaway. They've got the Rada Week tickets being sold. You can contact Tim at 951-264-7382. There's, it'll be going on from November 6th all the way through January 22nd. There's Seeker, CalStar, GraphTech, Batson, Fishing Syndicate, Taipan. There's all these great rods that will be given away, on top of which for $25 you get an entry. But if you buy 4 right now, they're giving 1 extra ticket for free. So you get 5 tickets for the $100. Plus you're going to get in the special drawing for one of Carl Newell's personal rods, along with a Newell 338 attached to it. So it's a piece of sport fishing history, all for your $100. And if you do multiples, right, you go 200, 300, you get multiple tickets going into the Newell drawing. On top of every 100, you get 5 tickets into the drawing for these awesome rods. And all the money is going for Rollo to take kids fishing. So try to get on it. Again, call 951-264-7382 or leave a message at win@wallowkids.org, and just leave your name and your phone number, and Tim will call you back and get all your info and sign you up.
That's no better cause, right?
So we have a text.
I do. I actually have I want to read it more for personal. I'm being kind of selfish here, right? And it comes from John Amir Mesa. And good morning, gentlemen. Striped bass, he says. What are the regs, size, and bag limits on local stripers? Because it's something we've had, I mean, for decades, but
Sure.
the last 10 years, it's really been prevalent in our surf fishing.
Yeah, I remember I was probably a game warden on maybe 5 years, and I saw a guy come off the Mission jetty, Mission Beach jetty, and he had this big striped bass, and I didn't know what it was. I hadn't even seen it before, but we are seeing them more and more. It's the season on them. It's open year round. The limit is 2. North of Point Conception, there's a size limit, 18 inches total length. South of Point Conception, there's no minimum size. There are some gear restrictions. You can't use a sinker weighing over 4 pounds, and you can't use any power-driven gurdy or winch, but they can be taken by angling, by spearfishing, and by bow and arrow.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different north of Point Conception versus what we find down south, right?
Sure.
It's kind of cool, right? What direction you want to go with it, Wayne?
Let's take another a text here.
Another text. I have one. You ready?
Yeah.
Comes from Mike and Santee, and Mike has a question. What if I'm going out? I'm on the bay during the day, and you find a solo buoy or float or slash hoop net. Someone probably lost it or forgot about it. Can I grab that delinquent trap and take it home? Or delinquent hoop net, right? Trap would be commercial. I do have a valid lobster card asking for a friend. Thanks.
No, if there are abandoned hoop nets or lobster traps, you're probably going to want to report that either to Harbor Patrol or call our CalTip line. Harbor Patrol is actually probably the quickest person to go out there and grab it. It's a hazard of navigation if it's indeed abandoned. And we talked about that last week, or you guys talked about it last week with the Promar folks on about, what is the appropriate, what is the legal requirement for checking your hoop nets. And it's not so much a distance regulation, it's a time. You have to check your hoop nets every 2 hours. And that kind of by in itself will keep you around your hoop nets. So hopefully the person's nearby, but there's a law that says you cannot abandon your hoop net in the water. If it hasn't been checked for more than two hours, it's considered abandoned. Then, the appropriate department can seize it if it's a hazard navigation, or Fish and Wildlife can seize it if we think it's abandoned gear.
Yeah, interesting, because they do get left behind or carried away with kelp or whatever.
They do. Yep.
So we were just coming off a very phenomenal sand bass bite season, right, Mr. Frankie?
Yes, we did.
So we had a really eventful year this year when it comes to regulation of sand bass, and cooler heads prevailed after all the meetings, discussion, and everything. So let's talk about that with Craig and Ken on what actually happened and where we at and what's going forward with sand bass. Craig, you want to start that?
Sure. Thanks, Wayne. So department's been tracking sand bass for a number of years, and the data that we had indicated that we weren't seeing recruitment, that sand bass populations were starting to decline, and that we needed to apply some additional management measures. So, gosh, this was about a year and a half ago, we brought a package to the Fish and Game Commission with some potentially pretty significant restrictions, including possibly closure of the summer season to protect spawning sand bass. As we started going through those discussions, the fishing community came to us. Ken, Wayne, others, y'all came to us and said, hey, this isn't consistent with what we're seeing on the water. We don't think this is 100% right. We think you're missing some of the story. So as we started going through the Fish and Game Commission process, we heard you, and we thought, you know what, let's pull back on this a bit. Let's hit the pause button. Let's recommend the commission implement a modest management measure, so dropping that bag limit from 5 to 4. And then let's roll up our sleeves and work together to get better data over the next couple of years and really figure out what's happening with that population. And so kudos to you all for coming in constructively, for helping us roll up our sleeves, for getting the sampling in place this summer. And I'm really excited to see what data we start getting and what we do with it.
Yeah, one thing I'll add to Craig, what Craig said, first of all, just perspective-wise, good leadership Fish and Game Commission, Craig set the tone up at the commission meeting, but there was just so much collaboration. There was cooperation, and they created a working group where we could put together all the information on the table for everybody to digest. And to Craig's point, yeah, we all recognized we needed some additional data resources before a good decision could be made. And the quillback situation, we're thankful that at some point it was okay, restore it. But in this case, the department paused and came up with a very good decision and a recommendation to the commission. And we supported, literally when we went to the podium, it was, we support what the department is recommending here. I always want to be clear to people, it was the department's recommendation. It wasn't ours. It was, we're supportive of what the department wants to do here. And now next Friday, we're going to have another working group meeting. And it's just a matter of, there is a total willingness. Bring all your information. Let's put it on the table and just let's make good decisions going forward. In this case, as most of the anglers know, a lot of folks, a massive amount of anchovy showed up and down the coast. We had squid show, then the barracuda, sand bass showed. We had some incredible good fishing on very large sand bass, but we also saw in the near shore areas a lot of small sand bass. So I think kudos to everybody involved. And you're going to encounter on the sport boats measuring boards that we worked with the department to deploy, where we're going to actually continue. We started it this year, but we're measuring all the fish, the shorts and the legal ones, to give more resource information to the department biologists so they can make good decisions. So I think overall this is going to be a good lesson and one that we can build from.
I agree. It's one of those things where all of us put our heads together. We got frustrated in the middle of the process, but then we all buckled down and said, how do we find a solution? How do we fix it? Where do we get the data? So the sport boats are doing the measuring. CCA Cal, part of their star tournament, added a shorts division as well as their normal bass division. And the short division on that measuring was the largest supported area of
the entire thing, huh?
Of the entire section. Yeah. And so kudos to our guys, because that is so necessary for the department to understand, the analysts to understand the recruitment of the fish, because they were claiming that we didn't have a large amount of recruitment going on and that we were going to have this like lull in the species. Well, we're trying to show that that's not true. We're finding all age classes out there very in high numbers, and they're not all in the same area. So the types of studies that we're doing, the support from the fishing community, so important on everything to get this right. So the working group will have the data to analyze to get that forecast correct.
Because there's so much that happens, right? I mean, there were so many 3 to 5 pound sand bass this year that just showed up, right? Where do they come from, and where do they go?
There's a lot of work that needs to be done still. This was the first year that I've personally made calls up and down the coast almost daily. What are you doing? What are you catching? Let's, what are the size? What kind of bait did you have? We learned a lot. So I think we're going to just keep working with the department and hopefully get to the point where we make these incremental changes and everybody benefits, and the resource most importantly benefits, because we need that resource to continue. So we don't want a disappearance.
Right.
So we've learned a lot, and we'll continue to do so in the future. And I think this is a good model to use on other species as well.
Absolutely. I believe
and what's important.
Go ahead.
Well, I say what's important is we were able to do this because of the trust and relationships that we've all built up over the past 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely.
The department and the angling community hasn't always had a good relationship. I know that, but I think with your all leadership, with the approach we're taking on our end, we've been able to build that trust over time, which enabled us to have faith in each other, to take the risk, to do something like this. And I think this is just the first step of many really good things to come.
Absolutely. So a question that came up a couple shows ago, I think somebody either called or texted in. They were asking about being able to use, because of the bait situation a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, where we were kind of struggling down here in San Diego with the bait at the receiver. They were asking, can we use throw nets? And the answer is, down in Southern California, we're not allowed to. What is the opportunity to try to open up the use of throw nets? Craig, you and I have been through this a couple of times in the process. You want to talk about it?
I'll have to dig back into my memory banks for this one. But yeah, so throw nets are not allowed in Southern California. Couple of concerns. One is lobster is one of the issues that we've encountered. Something we can look at over time, but right now I'll say we are strapped for resources. We took a huge budget cut and staffing cuts. So trying to do anything new is going to be a challenge for us in the near term. Doesn't mean we can't look at it in the longer term.
Yeah, it's nicely said. Yeah, it's something you can do north of Point Conception, but just not south, right? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, one thing that Craig just mentioned about budget cuts, et cetera, everybody knows they're lacking on resource, but we have this big desire to get more data. So more and more you're going to see out on sport boats, et cetera, measuring boards or action items where we're going to be asking volunteers to come in and measure people's fish, et cetera. There's a lot of that type of work that's going to be done over the next several years. But understand, behind the scenes, we're going to work closely with the department. We're filling a necessary gap because they're willing to accept data. And so these boards we've put on the boats, SAC is going to be doing a tagging contract with Pier in the near future. We're looking for volunteers to participate in that. So this whole concept of working together is legit. We need everybody's help, and we need a positive mental attitude as we navigate through this stuff.
I mean, Ken, I step away from the mic as an angler, and I'm amongst heavy hitters here, right? Wayne, Ken Franke, Eric Cord, and Craig Shuman, right? I'm just a simple angler enjoying the resource. But I can say, and like Craig said, in the last 5 to 10 years, the relation has built strongly. And I think personally, as stepping away from the mic and being an angler, I think it's because of Wayne Kotow, CCA. I think it's because of Ken Franke and the resources of an Eric Cord and the department working with Craig Shuman and the state to make it all happen. Seriously.
We try so hard to stop the fighting because nobody wins in a fight.
Yeah.
Our whole goal has been find a solution to a problem, no matter what it is. Find the common ground, because all we're trying to do, I believe we're all trying to get to the same result: responsible and sustainable outdoor recreation. And all these fights just cause hassle. It doesn't get you anywhere. So how do we fix it? Better data, better science, more staffing, obviously, when we can. So we're the lobbyists. We're the ones that go up to Sacramento or to the feds and lobby. That's our job, to help them to help us. And I honestly believe that. And that's what we've all been working for. How do we work with the science team to get the data they need? We didn't know what the data they were missing. We didn't understand it. We sat down and we've had the meetings with them, constantly have the meetings with them. Okay, now what are you using as a tool for forecasting? What is the data? Where are the assumptions in those tools? And we are slowly picking away at trying to get better data for better analysis, to get better forecasts, so that we can all trust it and then trust the output to say, this is what we see on the water. It matches what your model says. Now we can all move forward and do the right thing when at the right time. What I've always said was, we see things before the model shows it, because the model is historical data. And so what happens is, by the time the model gets the data in it, spits something out and does it, we're already past that curve. We're looking historical, not forward. We need a better method to go forward faster, like we do in other industries. But it's not that simple, because we're stuck with fisheries management plans, processes, and procedures.
And cycles.
And
natural cycles.
There's no pause buttons. We've said this a long time. There's no pause button. We're trying to work through those processes. It's not as simple as it sounds, because we've put ourselves in the hole of management plans, cycles, times, data. And it's a public process. It just takes time to go through public processes. We've put ourselves in that position.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I think we're being the angler again, stepping away from the mic. I think we're in a very good position to not only enjoy the resource, but be in a position to where we have Ken Franke and retired CCA, right? Wayne Kotow but having the enforcement and having everything come together, and Craig Shuman and the whole state just working together and making it accessible,
Yeah, one thing that I will add, just for all the listeners out there, when you are in a position to speak with the department or the commissioner, whoever, professional and constructive, those two words will benefit all of us. Anyone that does something other than that, it detracts from whatever we're trying to do.
I've said something on here that is probably, I don't know, probably not the nicest thing in the world, and I'll say it again: just don't be stupid. Simple. Don't be stupid, right?
Or rude. Don't be rude.
Right.
We're all professionals. We're all trying to get to the same spot. Treat everybody with respect, kindness, and just provide the data that we needed. It just makes it easier for everybody. We're not doing it to harm you. We're trying to do it to help us. So
yeah, exactly. Hey,
yeah, and not to say we can't disagree.
Correct.
Disagreement is totally healthy.
We've had plenty
doing
of
it in a way
disagreement
that
on
we're
the floor,
constructive.
right, Craig? And we're respectful about
Yes,
how
we
we
have.
disagree. We may not agree with what your analysts are saying, but we're talking about the terms, the data, and we're just trying to make points. We're trying to all get to the same spot using the points, using the data, and then try to figure out how to find a solution that we can all get to.
all right. Hey, very well said. And we're going to be right back. You're listening to all this on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, but we're going to be right back on Let's Talk Hookup.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find there were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
All right, let's talk about Shimano. And what else would I want to talk about than Tranks, right?
Exactly. Cory's favorite reel out there, especially with all the live bait going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, we got those little baby sardines and anchovies out there. They're going all the way down to 20 pound and a number 4 hook. Cory, what are you going to use?
Well, Marco's talking Seaforth, Twilight Trip, and Bonito. I don't know, 2 to 3 pound Bonito. How can you go wrong with taking your junior and fishing a 300, 400 Tranks and just having a good time? And what says it better than Tranks?
Oh man, and being able to even go down in the small Talicas and Trinidads. Yeah. I mean, the rods and the reels are so small and light, and the spools are so silky smooth to release the bait. You can get a bait away better than ever right now, and those fish don't stand a chance.
Wayne, nobody does it better. Check Shimano. It's Shimano.com.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at royalstarsportfishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Hello, Let's Talk Hookup listeners. This is Tim with Friends of Rollo, and we are gearing up for our annual Rod Week promotion. This year highlights a fantastic selection of rods that will be given away every Thursday starting November 6th. All of these rods can be seen on the Rollo website at rollokids.org. Tickets are $25 each, and if you buy 4, we will give you one free. When you buy 4, you will also be entered into a drawing to win one of Carl Newell's personal rods and Newell reel. Carl Newell was a pioneer in the fishing industry, and what better way to have a chance to own a piece of fishing history? To purchase tickets, call Tim at 951-264-7382 or email win@rollowkids.org. Please leave your name and number, and I will get back to you. Thank you for making it possible for Friends of Rollo to take over 150,000 kids fishing. Your support is greatly appreciated.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup and having so much fun. And could we top it off? We've got a live report from the Tribute. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Morning, Mike. Doing good, man. Wondering how the ocean's going on the Tribute.
Well, no, I just got a recording of a sonar that I play in the background.
I know, I love it.
Dude, that just gets me excited. I love that sound, and I'm sad that all the other sounders do not have that on there as a feature because, man, that puts me to sleep listening to that.
Well, it's funny because our port stateroom is right above the speaker, and you get guys as soon as it comes on in the morning, you get some of them that reserve that stateroom. They're like, I do it just so I know when we're going to stop, and I'm like, that's pretty smart. There's a fish above you.
That's being in tune. Are the fish biting or what?
Yeah, you know what they are. We made a longer run than we had normally like to yesterday on our one-day trip, and we were able to pick up a dozen bluefin. We had pretty steady action. We're out in the same area here this morning. We've got 11 bluefin on the boat. We've got a couple hanging. A good friend of mine, buddy that passed away a few years ago. It's a Don Gardner Memorial. It's the second year in a row. Basically the same group of guys, and it's the same area, same weather, and same fishing.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's we had pretty decent action this morning. A lot of 40, 45 pound bluefin, and unfortunately everybody's fly line is 25 pounds. You know how that goes. I think we've landed 11 out of 30 or something.
That's always the question. You pull up on a stop. What are you pulling off the rack? You get anything from 20 pound to 100 pound, 200 pound fish out there. Which one are you going to grab?
Well, on that set, I think our first fish on boat was like 15 pounds. Everybody looked at that one. Oh, here we go. And then it was just, at one point I took a video, and it was kind of depressing because I look in the video and there's like 10 fish hanging, and there's one on deck, and I think we landed 3 of those.
Wow, incredible.
I know Tyler running the Cortez. He was out here yesterday next to us, and they trolled up a 125 pounder, and I'm like, please no, not on 25 pound. Like,
right? Well, it won't be a long fight. Trust me. That won't be very long.
No, you're right. It'd be quick, but yeah, no, it's biting. I mean, I think everybody out here's got decent fishing so far for the morning.
No, that's incredible. It's nice to hear our locals fall fishing, or we call it the local summer, right? Are there opportunities to join you, Mike? I mean, with the good action and good sign, fish happening, bite.
There is. We've had a couple of spots open up. We have one spot for tomorrow night, which I'm sure will be full by the time we get off here. But Tuesday night's got 2 openings. The next couple of trips are full, and then not until the end of the month. But yeah, there is a couple of spots. I mean, tomorrow night one, Tuesday night's a couple, and then not until later on in the month. But you know, good chance to get out here, and it's been really consistent. I mean, there's been a couple of slow times here and there, but I mean, for the most part, there's and it's a funner grade of fish. You know, there's some nighttime fish up into 150 pounds, and then catching 30 to 45 pounders during the day. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, bring it on, man. That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, to book those open trips, open spots, Mike, do we call Marcos?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to follow me up. He usually does, but Seaforth Landing, 619-224-3383, seaforthlanding.com, tributesportfishing.com. And I just posted some videos here from the morning, and you know, it's off to a good start. And we're digging it. We just need to land.
Hey, we were just laughing because this is the one time you came in after Marcos.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably because I just got done posting pictures. Otherwise, I'd have had him beat by a minute.
Oh, there it is. Well, Mike, we appreciate always appreciate the on the water reports and giving us what's actually happening out there, and look forward to maybe you'll call next weekend, or maybe tomorrow even. We appreciate you calling in, Mike.
That's a good possibility, but yeah, it's as real time as it gets when, you know.
Yeah, no, we always appreciate it.
we'll try to check in tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thank you. We're going to go from there. We've got our Baja report. It's our with Chris Moyer, and it's at Smokey's Curing Company and Cantina, our Baja report. Good morning, Chris.
Cory, Wayne, buenos dias to you guys and the rest of the guys out there. How
Buenos
we doing?
dias.
We're doing good, man. You had me last week talking about rooster fish, and maybe, God, you had me there already, man. Enjoying Smokies in the afternoon, but fishing on the beach, catching a rooster fish maybe in the morning or in the evening, man. You had me there.
I was going to just say, Cory, we got to get you down here. This has been the best rooster fish bite in many years. I've been here 25 years, and I'm telling you, it's so good, and it just continues, and it's every day, and it's close in. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Straight off Los Barriles, go to the north off Punta Pescadero, head over to Rancho Leonero, La Ribera, Punta Reina, the Lighthouse. I mean, they're everywhere, and you're getting 40 and 50s. Literally every day. You know, you can do it all day if you want, but we got to get you down here, man, and we can go out on the Vaquera and get you a bunch of roosters.
Oh,
and
man.
some shrimp tacos that the fish goes after. It's crazy.
Oh, you're
It's
talking to
great.
my heart, man, and enjoy the cantina afterwards. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, for sure, bud. I mean, you got to get down here. It's a crazy bite.
Definitely.
And then moving on to the tuna. The tuna bite's absolutely going off. Yellowfin tuna. The good news is they're close in. You can go 10 to 15 miles off of straight off Los Barriles and then on to the north off Pescadero. Anywhere in there, 15 to 20 miles, as well as this past week, like mile to 2 miles right off Rancho Leonero. They're everywhere. The only downside is there's limits galore. The only downside is most of them are in the 15 to 20 pound, 25 pound range. We had a handful of 40, 50 pounders, but for the most part, they're small. But hey, you know what? We're not complaining. And then what happens is they're so close that guys can go get limits in the morning, and then you can go off. You're done. I mean, you're done early, and you can go do rooster fishing for the rest of the day. You can go target marlin. We had a pretty good week. It's dropped off a little bit to billfish bite. There's still plenty of sailfish out there, and I think probably double digits in blues. We didn't really see a lot of striped marlin this past week, but still, you know, like I said, go get the tuna in the morning, and then spend the rest of your day catching some billfish or some rooster fish. The Dorado bites, you know, still it's hit and miss, and those that are being caught are pretty small. A lot of them are being released. And then we didn't see any wahoo this past week, but that brings me to today is the tuna wahoo shootout. They combined at Von Wormer out of the Palmas de Cortez. They combined the tuna and the wahoo tournament. So that's going on today. There's close to 40 boats, right around 40 boats. And man, the way things have been going, I think if you go out and get a 60, 70 pound tuna, you'd have a really good shot at it. And if you can manage to land a wahoo, you'd have a really good shot. So we'll see, man. And Vaquera's out there fishing today, hoping they can land the trophy and maybe get out there and maybe try the kite and try to land a big one.
Oh, man, that sounds like fun for sure, Chris. And, man, you have me there at Smokey's Cantina. And, man, I definitely. So if somebody's in that area, Chris, and wants to utilize your services for fish processing or smoking
or book Vaquera,
right?
Yeah.
How do we do so?
We do it all. You can call or text me at 858-231-1358. You can email me at Baja Smoke Dog with 2 G's at Gmail, or you can get a hold of me at vaquerasportfishing.com. We'll handle all your fish. We can take you fishing. We will quench your pie hole, whatever you need, man. Just get
Margaritas manana, baby.
Yeah. And with the baseball playoffs, I'm sure you got it all going on, huh?
We got it all going on, and we're rolling, man. And this is about to be the really busy time of year coming in October. And we're keeping our eye on it. We got a little storm maybe next week coming, and we're just keeping our eye on it. But I think we're going to come out okay. So let's just get to October, and we'll be really clicking on all.
Great report, man. Really appreciate it. We'll talk again with you next week.
I know. It's one of my favorite ones for sure, next to Gundy Gunderson Surf Report, right? Thank you, Chris. Look forward to talking to you next week.
So much.
All right. Hey, and I want to remind you that's brought to us by Norsk Lithium. Power your boat with Norsk Lithium, the ultimate choice for marine adventures. Norsk delivers unmatched starting, trolling, and electronics power. Norsk batteries are packed with cutting-edge technology. Upgrade your marine power today. Set up your system at norsklithium.com or go see the trolling motor doctor in LA.
Excellent. So we got Tommy P, the famous Tommy P, that helps us out with Let's Talk Hookup. He texted in asking, he might have been asleep during the first part, asking about the licensing app and how do you do it for your phone. Craig, you want to get him on that one?
Sure. So you can go to your app store and download the CDFW app. Let me see what that's called. CDFW license. Enter a username and password, get yourself linked up. One thing I've noticed personally is that if you get a new phone or sometimes if you get an update, it will log you out of the system. So make sure, every couple of weeks, every couple of months, depends on how often you go out, you just get in there, you log in, you make sure your profile is in your phone. Because if you get offline and you're offshore and you can't log in, you want to make sure it's already in there on the app.
I agree. I've been caught where you take it, your phone takes an update and you don't even think about it. But my thing is every time I go out, I automatically go to the licensing app and start it right then before I go out. That way I know I have it saved in it. So the next time I sign on, it'll be there.
Yeah. And the caveat, your lobster report card, you still need to have that super long tag with you. That is not electronic. So that's got to be physically in your possession, and you've got to fill it out before you get in the water, before you start your fishing activity. Start it, immediately fill it out as soon as you're done, or if you move to another spot, and then make sure, again, you report it at the end of the year. But you can report that online.
Awesome.
And that sounds so simple, but Eric, I'm sure you see a lot of mistakes.
Oh, yeah. We check for it. It's something, because it's so important to the department. It's something that we will issue a citation for. It's an infraction, like getting like a speeding ticket or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably the biggest mistake is for those that are fishing after midnight, like when they go into the next calendar day. Because you're going into the next calendar day, you need to start a new line on your report card. So when you're done with that day, which is going to be midnight, put down what you've caught so far, and then you start the next line. You're into the month, the day, the gear code, the location, and then you can continue fishing past midnight.
It's just another line, right?
Just another line.
Yeah,
Yep.
another line. And if you run, you're lucky enough to fill in that whole report card, you can purchase another one.
Yes, you can. You're a really good fisher if you can fill out that whole report.
Right?
So, we're all impressed when we see that.
receipt.
Yeah. Or you're trying really hard.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
that's true too.
But remember the possession rule on how many lobsters you're allowed to keep, right?
Yes, it's seven in possession. You don't want to go more unless you have that multi-day fishing permit that you filled out, where you're allowed to possess more than one limit. You still can't go past more than the bag limit of 7 per person.
It's so crazy because lobster is one of those things. I mean, we could all go out and enjoy the resource with calico bass and halibut and bluefin tuna, but lobster is one of those that just makes people cuckoo. Like it.
Oh yes.
It takes them to another dimension of stupidness.
So going into that.
Yeah.
So Eric, why don't you tell us what are some of those things, the things that are, you go, oh my God, I can't believe we're still having to deal with it. What are those things that people really make a mistake on the most when you guys are out there?
Probably our number one violations are going to be size limit. People not taking the time to learn how to properly measure a lobster. We have a really good video on our website that has some officers showing you how you measure it, and it's all about taking that front tine of the lobster gauge. Everyone taking lobster has to have a lobster gauge. And you take that front tine and you bury it to the rear edge of the eye sockets, and you'll see the eyes kind of bulge out, and you pull back as far as you can until it stops. And then you put the gauge down to the end of the carapace. And if it goes over, it's going to be short. Now there's people who, if they go over and there is no wiggle room at all, and there's no amount of hairs or daylight on there, it's technically legal, but you really got to know what you're doing. I would say for if you want to play it safe, if it goes over the back of the carapace, it's going to be short. And then if it doesn't, it's legal. You're safe. You
if
know
it's
you
even
got it.
close,
Yes.
throw it back.
If it's
not
close,
worth the
yes.
ticket.
It's not worth
Those
it.
tickets are not cheap now. I think they're like over $400.
And if you have to even think about it,
Yes.
then there's an issue, right?
If you're really, really trying to, measure this in every way you can to make it legal, it's probably not going to be legal, and just put it back.
Yeah, it's that simple for sure. I had a great text, if you don't mind.
Perfect.
And it's actually, I think, for Craig, and it says, "Good morning, all. Levi from Mission Viejo. As a newly graduate of Cal State University, Monterey Bay in biology, he minored in chemistry and environmental science. Is there a job opportunity with fish and wildlife, and how would I go about getting employment? And thanks for all you do," he says.
Great question. Well, first of all, congratulations on your graduations. Should be proud of that accomplishment. We're always looking for new talent at the department, whether it's in our marine region or any of our other terrestrial regions. Website, again, is the best place to go. If you go to our homepage and click on employment, it walks you through the process. Getting a job with the state can be tricky at times. So there you have to be on the list for the different classifications. So I encourage folks to get online, look at the different options, the different classifications, whether it's an environmental scientist, a program analyst, different types of classifications based on your interests and your skill sets. And then you can get on a list and be notified when job opportunities are available in your area, and not necessarily just with the department. So, there's not a ton of jobs available, but there's also other agencies that do similar work: Coastal Commission, Regional Water Board, other state agencies that do biological work in the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one for sure. And congratulations to Levi.
Absolutely. So, Craig, here's something. We, just like the sand bass, the other big topic that we've been talking about for the last couple of years now, unfortunately, the MPA petition process. And why don't you give us a quick update on where we're at and where we're going?
Oh, where to begin on this one?
Right. I know it is so difficult
And
because
I
you guys
thought you
are
were gonna
stuck in the
ask
middle
me
of that
about
whole
how,
process.
Yeah. So, statewide MPA network, this was set up 15 odd years ago as part of the Marine Life Protection Act, a state law to do so. About 3 years ago, we did our decadal management review. As part of that decadal management review, what the department found was basically things are working about the way we would expect it. A few hiccups here or there, but overall the network is performing as we would expect it to do at this point into the establishment of the network. The commission, Fish and Game Commission, did set up a petition process for individuals that were interested in seeing changes to the network to petition the commission for changes. We received 20 different petitions for something like 75, 80 different changes to the network. We've gone through the low-hanging fruit ones, what we call the tier one. We're working on the more complicated ones now. I expect we will be bringing those back to the commission early next year, probably around the March MRC timeline. At the commission's October or December meeting, they will likely be talking about a timeline of how they will receive the department's recommendations on those commissions. Will they route those through the Marine Resources Committee, which is just a subset of the full commission, or will they bring those back through the full commission? But long story short, likely nothing through the end of the year as we're working through the evaluation process, and then we'll be bringing back the department's recommendation for commission and public consideration early part of next year.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And it's complicated. I mean, and it'll be depending on how much of a fight we find out on the floor between all the different groups because nobody, trust me, whenever we go through this process, you're never going to make 100% of the people happy. It never fails. It's just how much can we find the common ground to get to a solution that people can agree on. So,
which is as complicated as anything else in this world, right?
Yeah.
World politics, but here we are talking state resource, right?
Absolutely.
And it's maybe a little more difficult.
So you have a text?
No, I actually don't. I went through all the good ones, I thought. But yeah,
So-
do you have a good one there?
So Mark White from Canton, Ohio, of all places, he goes, by chance, is there any way that we're going to get the Cherry Bank reopened for bottom fishing? That's a good one. I don't know that one.
You know, I'd have to look at a chart to see if the.
Is that one of the groundfish exclusion?
Yeah,
areas?
I think it's got coral there.
But that would only be the high spot on itself for ground
Yeah.
fishing. We can fish over the top of those 8 closed areas, but we can fish slope. We just can't fish the top.
Yeah,
Right, that we closed.
I think it's a matter of looking at the charts and. I think-
Yeah, that was one that came in. I didn't have the answer to that one.
Yeah, there's those instead of the cowcod conservation areas, there's those
The
groundfish
exclusion
exclusion zones. We've got nice maps on them on our website. They're also codified, and you can't possess any rockfish while you're fishing in there. You can transit as long as your gear is stowed. If we have rockfish in possession, you can transit. You can go in there and fish pelagics as long as you don't have groundfish on board. But if you have rockfish or groundfish in possession, you can't stop and fish in there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So people, to refresh everybody's mind, what happened was we had this cowcod conservation area. It was over 4,000 square miles closed to us for over 20 years. But once we had the cowcod deemed rebuilt, we worked together with the environmental community, the commercial, the rec fishermen, CDFW, NOAA. We worked with everybody to figure out how we can open up those areas. And the agreement was that we had, I think, 8 groundfish exclusion areas, but we opened all the rest of that area to fishing. So this was the agreement and the solution. It was the one time that I can remember that we did not have any fight on the floor because everything had been worked out prior to getting there. So when we went through regulation changes and approval, they couldn't say no because there was no argument why they shouldn't keep it closed. So that was a very big thing for us.
Yeah, the Cherry Bank is one of those groundfish exclusion.
So that makes
areas.
sense. So what's going to happen is, unfortunately, right now, because of the coral on the Cherry Bank, that's why it's closed for ground fishing. No bottom contact is the reason for that.
We're interesting. Coral. I mean, Wayne, explain to me, like tropical. Coral?
Well, there's certain areas that when they did the surveying of those high spots, that there were certain coral, and they want to protect those coral for the ecosystem value.
Interesting, for sure.
Yeah, and these are deep water corals, not the corals that you think about when you're thinking about a tropical coral reef.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you, Craig, for sure. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. Hey, we're going to be right back on Let's Talk Hookup. Man, this was sure fun having Craig Shuman and Eric Cord, and Ken Frankie. We're going to be right back. We're going to find out who's won this lucky trip on the Liberty when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
I believe there is no doubt that the finest sport fishing in the world starts right here in San Diego. This is Captain Frank Lepresti. Our fleet of long-range boats and crew are unmatched, and the Royal Polaris and Shogun are right at the top of the list. Captain Jonathan Yamati and his crew aboard the Royal Polaris are considered to be the finest long-range vessel in the world. From summer bluefin, yellowtail, and wahoo to giant yellowfin tuna, our record is unmatched. The Shogun, under the direction of Captain Rene Monteagudo, has become one of the most popular long-range boats in the fleet. This big, wide, solid riding vessel has gained a reputation for catching fish and treating their customers to an epic vacation on the water. I am so proud of Jonathan, Rene, and the crews on both the Royal Polaris and Shogun, as they have helped me keep the reputation of the premier vessels in the long-range fleet. Come see for yourself. Book a trip on the Royal Polaris or Shogun today. Check RoyalPolarisSportFishing.com or ShogunSportFishing.com, or call Monica or Jen in the office at 619-226-8030.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open parties, schedule check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Take a closer look at the Ford F-150. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The 2025 Ford F-150, whether it's gas, hybrid, or the all-electric Lightning, find the truck that will meet your needs. From California's best-selling truck brand, the 2025 Super Duty, the rugged Ford Ranger, and the versatile Ford Maverick. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer today to see the great selection across the full truck lineup. Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. You need a thinner leader, more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. We're going to have Eric Cord flip the coin on the table here. Give us, yep, there you go.
There we go.
Whether it's a caller, texter, and today it's a texter. Goes to Mike and Santee, a trip on the Liberty. And Eric, you had some good information for new laws coming up.
I do. There's one more important one that we wanted to cover. It's for your hoop net lines, the lines connecting your net to the buoy. That's going to be effective in January 1st. There are color marking prohibitions, and before everyone panics, the reason that we're having these color marking prohibitions is that the Dungeness crab fishery, because they don't want to get in sort of charged for a whale entanglement to the fishery, to where that could cause a delay in the start of the season or early closure. They're going to be assigned a color for their line, so it's going to be purple and black. Oregon crab fishery is going to be assigned, I think it's yellow and black, and then Washington, yellow and black for Oregon and red and black for Washington. So those colors of lines are going to be designated for those fisheries. So we don't want our hoop net fishers to have those same colored lines in case there's a whale entanglement with their hoop net. It wouldn't charge that commercial fishery with a whale entanglement, which is bad for them.
Right.
So just make sure come January 1st, you don't want to have purple and black lines, and it's the 3-strand polypropylene where there's 2 strands of purple and 1 strand of black. The safest bet for now and into the future is have those solid colors, solid orange, solid yellow, all black. As long as you don't have these 2 colors of lines, you'll be safe. And you want to avoid a ticket.
Maybe we can get you to call back in before the new year. Could you do that?
Sure.
Could we get you together with Pete and figure that out? Just to explain that whole thing again.
Sure. No problem.
Okay. That'd be awesome.
Wow, what a great show. 2 hours is never enough. We got so much covered, and man, we have so many topics we didn't get to cover. Hopefully we can get you, Craig, back on, and Eric. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. President of SAC, Ken Frankie, Cory, I really appreciate it. All you guys, we tried to share as much information as we could and squeeze it in these 2 hours. Gotta love a live show. Thank you to all the callers, the texters. Thanks to Kyle on the fan, Adam at Let's Talk Hookup app. And we will be back here tomorrow with Brian Wynn, 7 to 9 a.m., 97.3 The Fan, Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, and YouTube live. Great show, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That would be awesome. I'm sure Pete would be stoked with that.
Sure.
Because it's a really unusual